Hello and welcome to Whozer Adventures. My name's Jim, and tonight we're going to have some fun here at home. Weather outside, it's really not raining here, but it's raining everywhere else, which is typical if you know anything about my house. It tends to go around me a lot. But got a couple different little projects tonight. The first one's going to be my buddy Shaun, who lives up in northern Indiana. Hey Shaun. Sent me a jig, and as you can see, he caught so many fish on it that it needs some repair work done on it. So we're gonna go over repairing one of these. So those of you out there that you know, have a jig that may need repair, you can kind of see how I do it. It's always a good thing, which means that you're catching plenty of fish. You know, and they're hitting it pretty hard. So we're going to get started on this one and take off from there. So here the chenille has come loose, okay? So we're just going to start with about a half a dozen to a dozen wraps right here on the front of the jig, right up next to the head. We're then going to bring this one around and we're going to rewrap this. Now, I like to wrap it once just to make sure of where everything's going to land. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in and I'm going to put down a little layer of glue. So that tells me right there that I've got plenty. Okay. So the hardest nail glue is what I'm going to lay down here. And this is just going to help that chenille bound back to the thread base that's already here. Okay. No need to get carried away with it or anything. But now once I wrap it, it's going to be stuck. Then what I want to do is I want to make my crossover ties. And rewrap that in here. Now we're just going to trim this off. And then we're just going to whip finish this back in. Make sure that's good and seated. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and put a collar on this right up here next to the head and the chenille. This will lock that chenille in good and tight. So my buddy Shaun can go out and catch a whole buttload more fish with this jig. Now I'm going to come back with some UV glue on this collar. To totally lock that in. And there you go, Shaun. Your jig is fixed. She's as good as new, buddy. She's gonna catch you a lot more fish, promise. Okay, so Carl and I was on Cataract. That video's already been put out. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to watch it, because that was really a fun day. Carl's an awesome guy to fish with. He's an incredible crappie fisherman, and I truly enjoy you know, fishing with him. You know, not only is it entertaining, but you know, if you're the right kind of person, you can learn a lot from the guy just by watching him. And so, Carl, if you're watching this video, big shout out to you. Had a great time. But that being said, Carl and I both, you know, we both lost some jigs that day. I mean, we were fishing in some pretty tight cover, and so I'm going to replace a couple jigs. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. 2 different style jigs. I'm going to show you what I was using that day, and you know, what I was catching the fish on, and we'll kind of go over my setup on these. We were definitely fishing in some high wind, so it was real easy to, you know, drift right into trees, you know, stumps down there. You know, we were fishing in 15, 18 foot of water. So the first one was this crappie magnet. I was using a crappie magnet, monkey milk with a pink head, okay? And I probably caught, I'm guessing 75 to 80% of the fish on this combination that day. And you know, it was pretty incredible. So, you know, when I'm out there, you know, I don't build an immense amount of one color, is what I'm going to say. But I think when you know what you're using is working and you lose it, you know, you want to be able to replace it. And Carl and I even kind of talked about it out there. Excuse me a brief moment. That sometimes when you hand tie and you tie a jig that's really off the wall, kind of unique, and you lose it and you were catching fish with it, it's kind of hard to remember exactly what the recipe was. So I try to pay real close attention to that. So as everybody knows, I'm going to set this up exactly how I always do. So I'm going to put a little bit of super glue down first, right on the shank. Doesn't need to be much, guys. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use dental floss. Cheap dental floss. Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar. You don't need to spend a lot of money on the dental floss. I'm going to wrap that dental floss, and if you don't have a vise, you can still do this without a vise. You don't need a vise to do this. I did it for a long time without a vise. So obviously a vise makes it a lot easier for sure. You're going to wrap that dental floss onto your shank. Okay. Now I'm going to trim that tail off of there. Then I'm going to take a whip finishing tool. Now, again, if you don't have a whip finishing tool, you can tie a granny knot. Just tie, 2 or 3 granny knots and then cinch it down tight, and it'll stay there. Okay, especially since you put the super glue down the shank of the hook. All right. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to whip finish this. I'm going to give it about 4 good wraps. I'm going to cinch that down. Okay. Now, once this part's done, now I want to put my bait on. Okay. Everything is about being dead in the center. I'm going to try to do this. I got a lot of lights on me for the camera's sake, so bear with me here. And I don't have my glasses on. But you want to be in the center of the bait, and on this crappie magnet in the center of the tails. Just as it starts to bend through the bend of the hook, you want to pull it straight and straight up. So it looks just like this. The hook is in the center right here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune this hook. So right now, the hook point is below the eye. I want that hook point above the eye. So I'm going to bend that hook point so that it looks just like this, just above the eye of the jig head. Okay, that's going to give me my good hook set. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly pull this bait back just a little bit. I'm going to take my super glue. So if you're ever out there fishing and you constantly have to keep adjusting your bait because it keeps sliding down, that's what this is going to prevent. You can catch a lot of fish, a lot of crappie, a lot of bluegill, even walleye on these baits. And it doesn't take much, just a little dab. Now I use, I'll show you here in a minute. But then you want to shove that bait right back up tight against that head and hold it there for a few seconds. And it'll stay there now. And now it's got a great profile. And this is what I was catching. Well, like I said, I probably caught 75, maybe 80% of the crappie that you see on that video with this combination right here. And Carl was fishing a totally different color combination. So I use this Loctite super glue gel. I use a gel because it's easier to control. But this jig is ready to go fishing again for me, and hopefully pile them in the boat. The next jig that I was using was a Bucktail jig. And I probably caught the rest of the 25%. So that's what I'm doing right here, right now. And I use pliers because if you don't have a vise, you got to use pliers. I got a vise, so I can kind of adjust that hook point right where I want. Then I'm going to bring this out a little bit. Now, I don't think I've ever showed this Bucktail on the channel before. So I'll kind of go through the steps of it. So basically I got a 1/16 ounce jig head and my hardest nail glue. And I'm going to put just a sliver of glue down this shank. Okay. To be honest with you, I didn't give this jig much of a chance because I lost it early in the start of the day. Now I'm going to wrap all the way down the backbone of this jig here, clear the hook point, and then back up. Okay. Now this is one of the most whacked out color combinations, I swear to you, I've ever used out there on the water. But it was working. I mean, they were just slamming this thing. This thing's got multiple colors in it. And I mean, it literally looks like a rainbow. So, we're going to start with a very soft color, the white. Because as you know, we build our jigs upside down. So the soft white's the first color they see. Now, if you can tell, the white, I've kind of off-centered it to one side. And that's because I'm going to come back with a blue. I know, sounds weird, right? I'm telling you, you should have been out there. It was weird. But they loved it. Now the blue I'm going to set over to this side. So the profile is in the water, they can see both of those colors. Bucktail is one thing I like to wrap real tight. All right. So now that I've got that wrapped, what I want to do with this is I'm going to put just a small sliver of glue down that thread. I want that bucktail to stay in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to whip finish a couple times. This is a blue-headed jig head, dark blue. And here comes the funky side. So now we're going to put a splash of pink in this. Almost said plink. When I tell you this thing is rainbow colored, I'm not lying to you, and I'm not even sure how I pulled it out of my jig box, to be honest with you. They just wanted funky stuff, and well, this is funky, literally. This is from the 70s disco days, in my opinion. They loved it, so that's all that matters. Fish tell you what they want. And then this last color, and trust me, folks, I got a witness. Carl's seen it. I'm telling you, it was weird. But they were hammering this. I think honestly, if I hadn't lost it, I probably could have caught most of my fish on this color combination. Right here. I'll tell you what, as windy as it was when we were out there, and we have wind gusts up to, I'm guessing at least close to 30 miles an hour. And the fishing was just totally awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the UV glue. I'm going to seal the collar on this real good. But I'm telling you, this psychedelic color, this disco day rainbow colored jig was just really awesome. You can see in parts of the video, and I wish I would have showed it before I tossed it out and lost it, but they were pretty quick to hit this. So I can't wait to get back out there and give this thing another try. But this, you know, for those of you guys that are tying your own stuff, and the water clarity that day started off pretty decent, but it went downhill real quick because of the wind and the things that you know, the waves hitting the banks and stuff. And there was some boat traffic out there also. Not a lot, but there were some. So, but that's the combination, guys. I know, who would have thunked it? But I'm telling you right now, that was doing it. They were all over that color combination. The whites, the blues, the pinks, the short truce, and the dark head. That's what they wanted. That's what they could see, I guess, the best. But they were just tearing that up. So I definitely wanted another one to take back, do it again. But who knows? You know, next time down, they may not want anything to do with it. You know, I don't fish a lot of bucktail jigs, but just goes to show you, sometimes you got something in your arsenal that you hardly ever fish and you're not getting any bites. Yank it out. You never know. You just never know. But these two combinations right here, the Monkey Milk crappie magnet with a pink head, and I was running, so I started out the day with a number 7 split shot, about 12 to 14 inches above it. When the wind started really kicking up and stuff, I actually went to 2 number 5 split shots, roughly only about 6 inches above the jigs, to get it down, because the wind was blowing so hard that it was actually, you know, when we pitching out there, you know, 15 or 20 feet, you've got to get past that in order for your jig, because the way the jig falls. So you're pitching out there 25, 30 feet to fish 15 or 20 feet. And by the time the wind, because you're facing the wind, it was blowing the jig. Before it even got to depth, it was already at 10 feet from the boat. So I had to use more weight. Now, I could have switched to more of an 1/8 ounce jig head, you know, something of this caliber to get down there a little bit quicker. But when you got a jig that's working, it's just easier to put that split shot on above it. And if you need it to drop even faster, you know, take it so that it's, you know, roughly, you know, 6 inches above the jig head, and that'll get it into the strike zone. Obviously, you lose the finesse the ability to kind of finesse it through there. But you're fishing you're fishing in winds and stuff. I mean, that's going to happen. But, these are two that, this one's off the wall, guys. This is a very common combination here. This is a go-to in many different water clarities. This is well known. This one came from my imagination, and never would have guessed that it would have done what it did, but it did it. So definitely replacing that one, and we'll definitely keep it, very close and very handy, especially for Caggles Mill Lake, or better known as Cataract. But great combination. So if you do fish that lake down there, and you're part of the channel here, and you see this, and you tie jigs, get you some bucktail. You need a blue, a chartreuse, white, a pink. Usually it comes in different bundles. A lot of the walleye guys fish bucktail stuff, and I do too. Not very often in fact, hardly ever but this came from White River. It's where I got this. So this came from Bass Pro Shop, and it comes in the multi-color pack. Get one of those. If I can find a link, I'll leave it in the description for you. But yeah, here's some combinations that one of them pretty weird, the other one pretty common, and then getting my buddy Shaun all fixed back up so he can catch some more fish. So your jig's on its way back home to you, buddy. Got it in the mail today and got it fixed, and heading back out so old Shaun can catch some more fish and send me some pictures. And that's the other thing, guys. We got a Facebook group page that, I encourage everybody to check it out. Share your fishing pictures, your camping pictures, your cooking pictures. If you like, that's the things that we do here on our channel is fishing, camping, outdoor cooking, indoor cooking, cooking with the grandkids. We really encourage everybody to share your photos. Send us comments through YouTube on the videos. Share with us what's going on. We want you guys to be very much part of the channel. Obviously, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up because it really helps the channel. Again, our goal is to try to hit 1,500 subscribers. We're right at 100 right now, so I don't know that we'll make 1,500 this year. And that's okay. I mean, I'd rather put out good quality videos, things that you guys are interested in seeing. And, we've done some reviews on some stuff. We've got some more fishing quality videos coming out. One of them is going to be me doing a discussion on the live sweep, the crappie, cornfield crappie live sweep. Obviously, I have that on my boat. I'm thrilled to death with it. But we'll get a chance to show you guys a little bit about it for those of you that are thinking about making that purchase. I would encourage it because it's a good product, good people down there, great customer service, by the way. If you enjoy the video, thumbs up. And if you're inclined, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when we're uploading videos. We're right now, if I remember right, we're somewhere around 14,000 views on our channel right now, and we've only got 100 subscribers. So it'd be nice if we had like 50-50. Say 50% of those of everybody that views our videos were subscribers and part of our channel. Rebecca and I would greatly appreciate that. And obviously, this is what we're about. And we appreciate you guys. Really, we do. outside of that, guys, it's been a great evening. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. And, you know, we look forward to seeing you on the next video. And we wish you all the best and a good evening. So good night, everybody, and please be kind.